Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Pour Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now look, so for this one, I'm gonna be telling y'all a little Thanksgiving issue that I had with one of my exes. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know I told this before, but this is to all the new gangsters on the channel. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all haven't seen this one. You know what I'm saying? So let me give y'all the short version of it. I told the long version of it. This is the short version. This is the Thanksgiving edition. You know what I'm saying? How about that? All right. Now, so let's jump in that time capsule. Let's go back to 2017, right? During this time, it was a girl that I had went to high school with. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen her since high school days. So basically, I ain't seen her since like 2007. You know what I'm saying? Um, with that being said, in high school, we wasn't never, intimate or, kicking it like that. We just know each other from high school, right? All right, so fast forward to tape, here it is, 2017. We ended up finding each other on Facebook. We got to talking little shit, I'm posting pictures, she liking it, blah, 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 shit like that, right? So she hopped in my inbox one day. You know what I'm saying? She like, what's up with you? Where you at? I want to see you, blah, 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 right? So me and her, we ended up picking up talking. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was fine with it because I knew her from high school. It wasn't like she was just some random chick. You know what I'm saying? So we kicking it. We get intertwined real quickly. You know what I'm saying? She had me come over to her crib. We doing our thing. We started falling in love. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Um, we started kicking it around like that August or something like that. By like that October, we living together. You know what I'm saying? Like just that quick. And like I said, it was cool because we knew each other, but it just wasn't never nothing like that. So she wasn't somebody new to me. It was just we didn't ever kick it like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to moving real quick when we picked up on this little relationship thing that we got into real quickly. That is mistake number one. Never move in with nobody that quickly. You know what I'm saying? But let's get to it. So maybe about a month after that, right? Like the beginning of that November, me and her got into it. And we got into it because I found out she was messing with one of my homies from the hood. Well, actually, she fucked him. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it was two homies from the hood. You know what I'm saying? One of them dead and gone. Rest in peace, Tom. You know what I'm saying? She was messing. She fucked around with two of the homies from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And I found out through this shit through the grapevine. You know what I'm saying? Because me and her, we from the same hood. You know what I'm saying? So we know all the same people. So of course the shit started coming up. You know what I'm saying? So I found out that she was a little rat type shit, right? By this time I'm invested with her. We living together. I'm like, dog, I don't believe this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I asked her at the top, was she fucking with anybody from the hood? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a no. But she lied to me. So it ended up coming out later on. All right, now we got that out the way, right? So I'm looking at her sideways, like, you know what I'm saying? This shit ain't gonna last. I knew it wasn't gonna last because you fucking with the homies. That's some rat shit. I don't get down like that, you know. So anyway, let's fast forward to tape a little more. Here it is a couple weeks later. It's Thanksgiving time. You know what I'm saying? So me and her was supposed to be spending the Thanksgiving together. You know, it was just supposed to be me and her, no family, none of that. She was into it with her family, I was into it with mine. So we was just supposed to be spending the Thanksgiving together type thing, right? Um, she was a cook. She knew how to cook things like that. Actually, she the one that taught me how to cook. Her name was Bree. You know what I'm saying? Bree taught me how to cook. You know what I'm saying? Like on some real shit. So when Thanksgiving Day came, well, a couple days before, she told me that she had to work on Thanksgiving. I'm like, what? I knew her job. I'm like, hell nah, you know what I'm saying? But she like, yeah, I do. I gotta work. I gotta get that holiday paid, blah, 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 right? All right, cool. So Thanksgiving Day came. She went to work that morning, like 9, 10 o'clock that morning. And she said she'd be off by like 3 or 4 o'clock. Okay, fine. 3, 4 o'clock, rolling around. I'm calling her. What's up? I'm at home waiting on her. I'm still at work. They extended my time for a couple more hours. I'll let you know when I get off. Blah 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 blah. All of this shit, right? All right, whatever. I'm still at the crib chilling. I'm waiting on her. By this time, it's about 7, 8 o'clock. In the wintertime, it get dark early. You know what I'm saying? So it's pitch black. It's dark. She still ain't made it home. She been gone half the damn day. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just sitting there chilling. I get a call from her. I pick up instantly. Boom. What's up? Where you at? What's going on? She like hollering. She hollering at me. I just got into a car accident. Blah blah blah. This motherfucker hit my car. Blah 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 blah. Now I know her. You know what I'm saying? So I could tell when she drunk. I heard in her voice she was drunk. You know. I'm like, you been drinking? You know what I'm saying? She like, what the fuck is you talking about? Somebody just hit my motherfucking car. Blah, 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 like going off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just listening to the background trying to see if I can hear anything. Well, with that being said, the police is there on the site. You know what I'm saying? So they talking to her. I'm listening in on what the police saying, but I could barely make out what they saying because she keep talking over them. So with all that being said, she's still on the phone hollering at me like, this motherfucker towed my shit up. My car towed. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Where is you at? She not telling me where she at, nothing. She just being all irate with the situation, right? Okay. With all that being said, she going back and forth with the cop. She got me on the phone and she arguing back and forth with the cop. So while she doing that, she trying to convince me that somebody hit her car. The cop said, you know what? Snatched her phone from her and they got the handcuffing her, right? So with that being said, the cop get on the phone and get to talking to me. He like, yeah, man, this is such and such from Detroit police, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Detroit police? Now at the time, me and her, we was staying in a city called Southfield. Southfield is the next city over from Detroit. But Southfield and Detroit is two different counties. Southfield is Oakland County, Detroit is Wayne County. You know what I'm saying? And her job was in Southfield as well. Her job was just a couple minutes away from where we lived at. You know what I'm saying? So when the cop said Detroit police, I'm like, what the fuck is she doing in Detroit? You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to be at work or, somewhere around this area. He like, listen, man, your girl lying. This is what a cop told me over the phone. I swear on my kids. You know what I'm saying? He like, your girl lying. He like, she out here riding around with this guy. They got drunk and she ended up crashing into somebody. I'm like, what? She riding with somebody. She like, yeah, damn, my bad. He like, yeah, she got a whole dude with her. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me tell y'all something about Detroit police. Most of Detroit police cops, especially if they black cops, which was this guy that took the phone, he was a black cop. Most of them is like ex-gangbangers that like didn't catch no felonies or whatever, and they grew up and they decided to become a cop and take on the cop role. And a lot of them, they alert the street niggas like, hey, the cops coming, woo woo, we about to do a sweep through here. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it run deep. You know what I'm saying? With that Detroit police and street nigga type shit. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all about the gang squad back in the day. They didn't even handcuff niggas. They'd just pull up to fight you, take your drugs, and pull off. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Detroit cops and street niggas kind of like one and the same. You know what I'm saying? If you know what you know. So, he like, yeah, man, she crashed the car drunk. She got this guy with her, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, straight up. I'm like, where is y'all at? Where did the situation happen at? He like, man, this happened over here on 7 Mile and Van Dyke, which is on the east side of Detroit, the deep east side at that. Now, where we stay at in Southfield, that's like deep west side. You know what I'm saying? So how the fuck you end up all the way on the deep east side? You know what I'm saying? He like, yeah, man, your girl's lying to you. She betraying you, man. She just lied, bro. Like, he kept it all the way 100 with me. Like, he was my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, damn, man, good looking. He like, but yeah, we taking her to jail. I'm like, what? And Karma spin the block so quick, He like, yeah, we taking her to jail because her license is suspended. You know what I'm saying? He like, well, you can come down here and bail her out if you want to. I'm like, I ain't bailing her out. The fuck? He started laughing. He was like, all right, well, we taking her in. I'm like, bet. Bang the line, right? So I'm sitting there like, man, that Karma be so real. You know what I'm saying? Like, she tried to lie to me. She didn't have to work. She didn't go to work. She spent the whole Thanksgiving out bullshit and went and picked up a nigga and was riding around with him. They got drunk and she crashed the fucking car. And I only know this because Detroit police told me this. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Off of her phone at that. If she would have never called me, I would have never known nothing about it. But she tried to grandstand it to me and ended up getting caught. How about that? You know? So anyway, with that being said, I'm sitting there chilling. I'm plotting. I'm like, oh, okay. You want to play like that? Psh, hit on one of my little rats. When I'm in relationships, I don't cheat. I don't roll like that. You know what I'm saying? But since she played with me like that, and it's supposed to be on Thanksgiving, we supposed to be doing our family thing, and you gonna play with me like that, I got one for you. So I hit up one of my little rats. I went and picked her up. I brought her back to the crib. Girl Bree, she calling me from jail. She keep calling. I ain't answering shit. I didn't put my phone on silent. You know what I'm saying? I got my little rat chick over here. We kicking it. We did our thing. We tore the house up. We did our thing. You know what I'm saying? After that, I dropped her off. You know what I'm saying? Bree was in jail for like 3 days. She calling me every day, all day. I'm not answering nothing. So about 3 days later, she show up. She unlocking the door to come in the house. I look at her, I'm like, damn, like you just not getting out. You know what I'm saying? She like, I've been calling you. Why you ain't been answering? Like, I ain't got no calls from you. Knowing I got all them calls. You know what I'm saying? She looking at me stupid, like, for real? Woo, woo. I'm like, yeah, for real. And I'm like, yeah, that cop told me that you was out riding around with a nigga. Why the fuck was you lying to me? You know what I'm saying? You know what this broad did? She gonna try and say that what the cop was telling me, what the guy that she was supposedly with, she gonna try and tell me that's the guy she got into the car accident with. Like, she tried to flip the whole story. I'm like, nah, dog, it's over with. The cop told me you picked up a nigga, you was riding around with him, y'all got drunk and you crashed into somebody. You know what I'm saying? But she tried to flip the whole script. I'm like, dog, this is what I be saying. Women don't take accountability for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool. Because like I said, I had already did my thing. I whacked the bitch all through the house, from the living room to the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? And little do she know, I skeeted all through that bitch. Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Karma, man. Karma at its finest. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I did after that? I had a whole plan. When the cop told me what he told me that night, I was like, oh, okay, I'm about to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, I had moved in with her. I just told y'all I done lived with two women, and two women that lived with me. Well, with her, she was one of the women that I lived with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. Now, when I was living with her, I was paying all the bills. Let's get that understood. I wasn't no pookie and moved in her shit, and that was that. Like, no, I was paying all the bills. It was just the place was in her name, like real shit, you know. So I was like, oh, okay, I got something for you. I played it off like everything was sweet. We kissed and cuddled and all of that shit. I had a whole plot in my mind. I was like, when Christmas come around, I'm vanishing. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whether if she got to work or if she gonna be with her people, whatever it is, when she leave this crib and she come back, I'm gonna be gone. That was my plan. I hit my boy up. I told him, I'm like, hey, look, on Christmas Day, I'm packing my shit. I'm getting up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I pay the bills. And Christmas fall right before the New Year. The New Year, the damn bill due. You know what I'm saying? The rent and all that shit is due at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the month. So I had this shit all mapped out. Like, this bitch about to get evicted. I'm not paying the bill and I'm about to be gone. You know what I'm saying? Christmas roll around. Of course, she got to work on Christmas, right? Okay, cool. Had no problem with it. Go ahead. I'll see you later. She like, oh, what we doing for Christmas? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I got a surprise for you. All you got to do is come home I got something for you. So she all geek thinking that I'm about to take her out or I got some nice gifts for her, some shit like that. Nah, you know? So when she left, literally, she left like 8, 9 o'clock that morning. When she left, I called my boy and my brother over there. Psh, come on. We They came and pulled up. I got all of my shit out of there. I furnished the whole place. Again, only thing she had was her name was on the lease. You know what I'm saying? It was just her name was on the lease. That was it. I furnished everything in there and I was paying all the bills. So when my boys came, we got everything up out of there. It was left just like how it is when you go view a house and there's nothing in there. That's just how I left it because everything that I took out of there was mine. Only thing that was left was her wigs, curling irons and shit like that. Her clothes. That was the only thing that was left. Everything else was mine. TVs, couches, bed, chairs, tables, blah, blah, blah. All of that shit. I took all my shit and I left. And with that being said, we had a balcony, right? We were staying in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? So we had a balcony, right? I slid the balcony door wide open and I turned the AC on. So it was freezing in that bitch. Mind you, it was Christmas Day. With that being said, I left her a little letter on the wall. You know what I'm saying? On a sticky note. I'm like, yeah, you played games with me. You was fucking with the homies from the hood. You lied to me about Thanksgiving. Here go your Christmas present. How about that? Smoked her ass. She was blowing my phone down. I'm not answering. I blocked the bitch, moved on my life. You know what I'm saying? So, what's the lesson behind this, Mr. Roll Well, the lesson is this right here. When somebody try and play with you, you play even harder. How about that? It's been another episode of Roll Up a Poet. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.